This demonstration is going to look at the Nlyte to BMC integrations. The integrations are productized and offered by both Nlyte and BMC. They are for discovery, CMDB, and change management. Discovery is one way. Discovered data is fed into Nlyte and used for reconciliation. Does the data being discovered match what is being managed? This quickly identifies problems such as security gaps and equipment that is not needed, reducing risk and providing savings. Discovery can feed the CMDB. It is more common to leverage this bidirectional integration for reconciliation, and it adds additional capabilities such as passing location data from Nlyte to the CMDB and passing other asset management information from the CMDB to Nlyte and vice versa. Subject matter experts can work in their system of expertise and be assured that they have current, accurate information. Nlyte workflow also has a bidirectional integration with change management. Nlyte understands the intricacies of the data center, power, cooling, cabling, weight, space, and all details necessary for moves, adds, changes, and managing the life cycle of assets in the data center. Data center workflows often are part of a larger process managed through change management. With integration, Nlyte workflows can be initiated and can create, update, and get information for change requests, allowing users to easily coordinate efforts, get approval for planned actions, and notify others of progress. This demonstration will look at the capabilities of the CMDB and change integrations. In the CMDB, you can see some of the data enhancements provided by Nlyte. Information such as cabinets. BL-01 is an Nlyte cabinet name. We see the assets inside of those cabinets as well as additional information such as what power supplies and what location that cabinet is in. Other information, other attributes can be added, updated, as well as sent back when discovered or updated within the CMDB. The information in Nlyte is also enhanced. Attributes such as serial number, they can be managed from the CMDB. Also, planned asset records can automatically be created from procurement activities captured in the CMDB. This behavior is user configurable and can be updated over time if the process or requirements change. The interface for managing the behavior is displayed here. Mappings are provided for classes. The Nlyte asset and corresponding CMDB, class ID, name, category, and type are mapped. In the Attributes tab, the attributes define the field mappings and the exchange of information. In this example, there are 14 attributes being exchanged. Additional ones can be configured to support process change or future needs. Other tab supports exchange of custom fields, normalization of the data, collection of business group information. Relationships can be leveraged within the CMDB through the integration to store location, cabinet, chassis, and card information. The Synchronize tab defines what CIs will be reconciled when the integration is next run. Let's set up a simple example of exchanging of the information. Here we can see in this record for BL-01 system, one of our blade systems inside of a chassis on Nlyte, the serial number has been set and ends in 52. We'll put a UPD on the end of that to reflect updated. Go ahead and save that change. During normal operation, the reconciliation or the integration would be set to run on a scheduled basis, perhaps once a day, once an hour, to correspond with changes or discovery processes. It could be as infrequent as once a week, depending on the use case. In this example, we're going to force a reconciliation by stopping a service and then restarting a service to kick off the process. The update, reconciliation, exchange of information may take some time. So while that's happening, we'll go on and look at change management, and then we'll come back and look at the record within the CMDB. From a change perspective, we're looking at the Nlyte workflow system. The process designer, we can see a process here that's been built to really exercise the different options within the integration activity. This process has several user configured steps interspersed with an integration activity. If we look at the first integration activity, it is tied to the Remedy change management system. And the supported actions here are create, get, and update change request. The data that's passed as part of that integration is user configured, and the data that's retrieved is also user configured. Further down in this particular example, there are several additional integration activities. The second integration activity is going to do an update. So up here we'll create the change request, and later on we'll update it with, again, user configured fields. The fields, the forms, follow the standard Nlyte workflow and are user defined, user configurable, as well as the process steps that make up, the task steps that make up any given process. Here, we'll go ahead and kick off that workflow that we were looking at. The workflow consists of 10 tasks. I'll go ahead and assign this a name for our tracking. We'll call it request 100 and enter data required for this. The change type and other fields are user configured, and they'll correspond to the values in the remedy system. Call this project, give it a brief summary and description. The reason, again, will correspond to the options available in the remedy system. Priority in this case we'll call medium, and impact will be moderate. Start date, target tomorrow for starting, and with a completion of the following week. And then go ahead and save this as a started new request. And as designed, the first step in this process is related to review of the parameters, maybe an update of the parameters. So this is a user configured step. Upon marking this task as complete, the next step in the process is the integration activity to create the CRQ. Here we can see that our request has started. The first task has been completed. This is the process designer for the process we'll be running or exercising today. It's really designed to show the capabilities of creating and updating a change request, exercising the integration. There is a step at the top, user-defined steps, but then you can see interaction between Nlyte and the change system. So there's multiple places here where there are integration activities, and interspersed with those are user requests. The first integration activity will reach out to the integration system, in this case Remedy Change Management, and execute a create change request. Again, the options are create, get, and update change request. The input parameters that are captured follow the drag and drop form builder that's provided, and then the associated mapping of those fields to the remedy fields, the forms that are used to capture that data, and the information that's returned is all user configurable. In this step, we're going to pass a number of data points to remedy, and we're going to get back the unique change ID that was created. A couple of lines down here further, tasks further, there's another call. In this case, it's to, again, the remedy, and it's an update change request. We're going to pass the unique change ID and some other parameters as part of that step. We won't go through all these steps today, but through a couple of them, so you have a sense of what the integration is doing and how the different items are accomplished. First step is to take that design and from the list of processes, initiate a new process for a workflow or request within the Nlyte system. So we'll call this Remedy 1 as the request name, and then capture some other information in a user-defined form. The different options here are user configured, and they'll correspond to the choices that would be available if I were doing this natively in the Remedy interface. We'll set a change region here of maintenance, a class of normal, and some medium priorities for urgency and prioritization. Again, the list would correspond to the options in Remedy, and it's user configurable. We'll also assign an expected start date, maybe tomorrow for the project, and then target the end of the project, in this case by the end of the month. Starting this process within Nlyte creates an individual request around that, and as designed here, the first step in this request is a user review or update of the information in the fields. We'll go ahead and accept those values that were entered, mark it as complete, and then it moves on to the next step. As designed, that's an integration activity. So we can see the first step we manually completed. The second step was automatically completed for us. If we look at that step, the data will have been sent over to change, and in return, we were provided with the unique change ID of 106. So let's pull up that information within the remedy system. Searching on the newly created change ID of 106, we find that change request and the information that was sent over. The reason for maintenance, the different impacts, etc., has all been provided by Nlyte to remedy. Users could review this. It's currently in a draft state. We'll go ahead and exercise the next step in the workflow, the next task in the workflow. In this case, we can see this is a user-defined item. It's currently open. The forms that we're going to enter have been configured to exercise the different capabilities. So we'll put in a couple more dates here around starting and end dates. And we'll change the RFC status to request authorization and update some of the required fields that will correspond to the items that need to be entered, captured in the remedy system. I'll change that so it's not unlocked. And then there's some free form descriptions here. I'll simply put in some quick values. User completed task within Nlyte, and as this process is designed, this will trigger the next automated integration point with remedy. We can see that here again. We completed task number 3, and task number 4 was completed automatically for us. Going back into the remedy system then and doing a refresh, you see that the item has gone from the draft stage to planning and progress. Now their fields have been updated accordingly as designed in this particular case. Let's go back then and look at our Atrium console and look for that update that we pushed from the Nlyte system into Atrium. This was for this asset name. We changed, updated the serial number. Search on a different CI, find that here, and then selecting the attributes for that CI, we can look down in a list of fields, and in this very simple example, we can see the serial number, in this case, as configured, was updated within Nlyte, and that information was then passed over to the CMDB. That integration avoids the need for duplicate entry and the human error associated with that.